Breaking news for Raiders fans. The Las Vegas Raiders have officially finished the final day of the 2025 NFL Draft, and guess what? They picked a quarterback that has a lot of people talking. Now, I'm not going to stand here and promise that this guy is the long-term answer for the Raiders. But here's what's exciting. Chip Kelly, who's been with the team for just 4 months, made this decision after really studying the game. He had several chances during the draft. Big names like Shedeur Sanders, Will Howard, and Quinn Ewers were still available. But the Raiders chose Cam Miller from North Dakota State. Cam isn't just another player. Last season, he threw 33 touchdown passes and only 4 interceptions. He passed for 3,200 yards, rushed for 600 yards, and scored 12 rushing touchdowns. Plus, he helped his team win 2 national championships at the FCS level. Some experts believe he has huge potential. Now, before we jump into the rest of the news, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates about the Raiders. Let's keep rolling. Back to Cam Miller. He reminds many people of success stories like Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy. These players were picked late but turned out to be stars. Sometimes great offensive coordinators want to find a hidden gem and develop him themselves. Chip Kelly, who truly understands football, seems to have handpicked Cam Miller. Statistically, Cam had a fantastic season. Sure, it was at the FCS level, but talent is talent, and Raiders fans have a lot to be excited about. Cam Miller didn't just shine statistically last season. When you watch his game tape, you can clearly see the real talent. During the pre-draft process, when coaches and scouts were quietly discussing quarterbacks, Cam's name kept coming up. One story stands out. An NFL offensive coordinator, someone with real experience, said that if he could choose a few quarterbacks to develop, Cam Miller would be one of his top picks. Along with guys like Brady Cook and Cam Ward, Cam Miller was right there on his list. Out of all the prospects available, he chose Cam Miller as a favorite. That's not something you hear every day, and when you watch Cam Miller's game film, it's easy to understand why. He's not just a runner, he's a playmaker. Cam has incredible speed and quickness, probably ranking among the top 5 to 7% of all quarterbacks when it comes to athletic ability. He can make defenders miss and break away down the field. At the same time, he's got a strong arm, especially when throwing deep passes. There's real power behind his throws. Of course, like any young quarterback, there are areas where he can improve. Sometimes he's just a little slow recognizing coverages and getting the ball out on time, especially on quick routes like outs and digs. There were moments where his throws didn't have that extra snap of speed, but those are small details that can be sharpened once he starts working with NFL coaches. We've seen it before. Players like Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, and Jalen Hurts all needed time and the right coaching to reach their potential. With good development, Cam Miller could be another great story for the Raiders. Success in the NFL often depends on more than just a player's talent. It's about having the right coach and the right play caller. When you think about a young quarterback like Cam Miller, these details matter even more. If a quarterback isn't fully comfortable staying in the pocket, a smart play caller designs plays to move him outside, giving him better chances to make big plays. And with Cam Miller, the Raiders might have something special. Sure, some fans have liked what they've seen from Aiden O'Connell. Watching his tape, you can spot flashes of real potential. But you also notice his limits, especially when it comes to mobility. If it's 3rd and long and a defense sends a heavy blitz, quarterbacks without quick feet usually have just one option: throw a risky 50-50 ball. That's not a winning formula over the long haul. But a player like Cam Miller is different. He has that rare ability to dodge pressure, escape the pocket, and either find an open receiver downfield or take off running for the first down. Think about guys like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. It only takes one missed tackle for them to turn a broken play into a big gain. Cam Miller brings that same exciting element to the field. Of course, it's important to stay realistic. Right now, Cam Miller is a developmental project for the Raiders. There's no guarantee he'll ever become the starting quarterback. Most young quarterbacks don't, but if he reaches his potential, and sometimes all it takes is the right coaching and a little patience, the Raiders could end up with a true hidden gem. You also have to wonder, if Cam Miller had played for a big-name school like Miami, Tennessee, or LSU, would we be talking about him differently right now? His talent is clear. He just needs the opportunity to prove it at the next level. At North Dakota State, Cam Miller didn't just play, he dominated. He led his team to championships, showed he was a true winner, and stacked up an incredible season with 45 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions. That kind of success, no matter the level of competition, speaks volumes about his talent and leadership. It makes you wonder, if Cam had played at a bigger program, like one of the college football powerhouses, how much more attention would he have received? We'll never really know. But what's clear is that he made the most of every opportunity he had. Bringing in a player like Cam Miller late in the draft is a smart move for the Raiders. It's not always about finding a ready-made superstar. Sometimes it's about finding someone with raw ability and the right attitude and giving them the right coaching to grow. Now, there are still some quarterbacks out there on the market, and it'll be interesting to see if the Raiders bring in even more competition. This year's draft was different. It wasn't just about the top 5 or 6 players. The real strength of this class was in the depth. Beyond the big names, there were dozens of talented players who might not have been drafted but still have real potential to be solid NFL starters. Looking closely at Cam Miller's tape, you can see some impressive traits. He has good arm strength, especially on deep throws, and he knows how to create plays when things break down, a skill that separates average quarterbacks from great ones. Sure, there's room to grow. His ball placement could be sharper, and sometimes he struggles when reading defenses, especially deep down the field when safeties disguise their coverage. But that's normal for young quarterbacks, and it's something that can improve with the right coaching. Overall, Cam Miller gives the Raiders something exciting, a player with real upside and a future that's wide open. One thing Cam Miller definitely needs to work on is trusting his arm more, especially when safeties don't immediately commit. If he can drive the ball with authority into the right spot, there's not much defenders can do to stop him. But for now, it's clear there's still room for growth. Cam's deep throws, especially those 20 to 25 yards downfield, could be sharper, and under pressure, he sometimes struggles. If the pocket collapses and there's a clear lane, he's quick to escape and make a play. But when pressure comes from the side, especially from the right, he doesn't always react fast enough. This is an area he'll need to improve if he wants to take the next step. There's no question about his athletic ability, though. If he rolls out to the right and a blitzer's coming, Cam has the moves to shake that defender and keep the play alive. It's only when he stays stationary in the pocket that he sometimes gets caught. It's still early, and with more coaching and experience, he can fix those habits. Also, don't get confused. The Raiders did draft another quarterback just a couple of picks before they grabbed Cam Miller. Tommy Mellott from Montana State was selected, but he's a completely different story. Even though he played quarterback, Mellott's future is more likely at wide receiver, maybe even as a wildcat player. He's super fast and explosive, the kind of guy who can return punts and break big plays, but he's not expected to develop as a true quarterback like Miller. Between the two, Cam Miller clearly stands out as the real quarterback project. Now, it's up to the Raiders' coaching staff to bring out the best in him as they move forward. With the draft now wrapped up, all eyes are on the new talent the Las Vegas Raiders have brought in. And Cam Miller is one name that really stands out. While there were several picks on the defensive side and some undrafted free agents on the way, the buzz around Miller keeps growing for good reason. What makes Cam Miller exciting isn't just his skill set. It's his ability to deliver when it matters most. When the game is tight, when the pressure is high, he's shown that he can step up and make the big plays. Sometimes it's not about completing every throw, it's about making the one play that changes everything. A deep touchdown, a huge scramble, a moment that shifts the momentum. Miller has that spark, and that's exactly the kind of player the Raiders need to develop. And it's not just Cam Miller. The Raiders have clearly put a premium on adding speed and explosiveness across the board. They picked up athletes like Tommy Mellott from Montana State, not necessarily a quarterback in the future, but an explosive weapon who can make things happen in space. It's a clear strategy. Bring in players who can flip a game on just one play. While not every pick will turn into a superstar, the commitment to adding dynamic talent is obvious. The Raiders are building a team that can strike fast, attack deep, and keep defenses on their heels, and players like Cam Miller fit perfectly into that vision. The road ahead is exciting, and Raider Nation will be watching closely to see which of these young guns rises to the top.